All right, well, we have severe weather sweeping through the area, and Kathy and Scott are keeping their eye on it all. Guys.
We are keeping tabs on a tornado warning that has just been issued until 5:45 for sections of Montgomery County as well as Bucks County. That is just the word in right now. This cell is moving just 20 miles east of Reading, moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So once again, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Spring Mount or about 20 miles east of Reading, moving to the east 30 miles per hour. Locations that could be impacted by this include Lansdale, Souderton, Hatfield, Schwanksville, Green Lane, Spring Mount, Gilbertsville, Skippack, Telford, Sellersville, Harleysville, Pottsgrove, also Montgomeryville. So once again, okay, another one just issued as well. So right now, pretty much the entire county of Montgomery County under a tornado warning until 5:45. You can see one covering the northern part of Montgomery County, the central part, the southern part, extending now in sections of Montgomery County. So Kathy is over at the Barron computer. Kathy, what are you showing and what are you seeing right now?
Okay, well, right here we're going to zoom in on this warning area. This is the area of concern. You can see the box. I'm going to take off the radar so you're actually able to see what we're talking about here. So right now we're looking at the area of concern through New Hanover, Limerick, Green Lane, Franconia, and Hatfield. And Scott, how quickly is this moving? Because I'm going to draw a skit right here.
It's moving east at about 30 miles per hour.
Okay, so we're going to move the storm east at 30 miles an hour, and these are the locations we're concerned of. This potential tornado will be near Schwanksville at about 5:32, Spring Mount at 5:33, even in places like Selford at 5:34. So if you're in this location, please get to an interior room of your home, away from the windows, and get into a safe area. So we're going to take a look at something we look at here when we're talking about these types of storms. We're looking at the shear and also the hail. So this is the hail indicator showing that first you have that severe thunderstorm, then you potentially have heavy hail, which we're looking at right here, and then a rotating thunderstorm. So this is the direction we're talking about. You can see all the hail associated with this particular storm as it continues on this eastward track. Then if I add the shear, this is also an indication. When you look at shear, it is the spinning of the air in the atmosphere as you go up in the atmosphere, going at different speeds and direction, and there is a tremendous amount of shear moving in this direction. So if we add that warning back on, you'll clearly be able to see what we're talking about here. So this is our box, that tornado warning in Montgomery County, and that is until 5:45. And Scott, it appears like we have a secondary tornado warning to the north, as you mentioned. So this warning, I'm going to draw what we call a skit diagram for that severe weather. This is moving to the east, as you mentioned as well, and we're going to draw a direction east at 30 miles an hour. We'll track both of these potential tornadoes, and you can see the towns it will be near. We're talking about Salford at 5:28, even Vernfield at 5:33, and Harleysville at 5:35. So if you live anywhere in these areas, please get to an interior room of your home. This other part of the tornado warning to the south, in this box, we're talking about Norristown, Abington, and can you give me some direction?
Yeah,
on
right
this?
now the one that's issued for southeastern Montgomery, it's about 14 miles northeast of Westchester, moving to the east 40 miles per hour. So that one's moving at 40 miles per hour to the east, but the one that's located in northwestern Montgomery, that one's moving east at about 30 miles per hour.
Okay, so we're looking at that area over here. So you're talking about this was located near Westchester, and I'm going to follow this skit that we're looking at right here, and this is east at 40.
Yep.
Okay.
Some of the areas included in the path of that would be Norristown, of course, West Norton, East Norton, Conshohocken, Hatboro, Ambler, Jenkintown. Rockledge, Ambler, Abington, Brenathan, Willow Grove, Valley Forge, Plymouth Meeting, Chestnut Hill, King of Prussia, Germantown, Paoli, Radnor, as well as Horsham. So once again, you want to seek shelter, the lowest interior windowless part of your home, or a bathroom. Basement obviously would be the best bet, but if you don't have a basement, interior windowless closet or bathroom. We've had the heat, we've had the humidity, and we were talking about this just in our 3:30 show, how the atmosphere is kind of primed for severe weather. So ultimate Doppler is indicating what could be a rain-wrapped tornado. We've seen the rainfall rates anywhere from 3 to 4 inches per hour with some of these cells. They've been prompting severe thunderstorm warnings. In addition to that, they've had flash flood warnings as well. So they've already had a history of some wind damage, trees down, wires down. So we're watching that front, a lot of lift in the atmosphere. And we said it would be like squeezing out a sponge with the rainfall. And now it's turned severe, and we have the potential for not only one tornado warning, but two through Montgomery County.
So you have that northern part of the county, and then you have the southern part of the county. And as we draw a line from the storm as it moves into the county, here are some additional towns moving through Paoli as we speak. Berwyn, which is right next door. Devon at 5:29. This just updated. Stratford at 5:31. West Wayne at 5:31. Radnor Station by the train station at 5:33. St. David's at 5:33. And even near Villanova at about 5:34. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity of this area, please get to an interior room of your home and wait until this storm passes, because you can see there is a lot of heavy rain associated with it. We're talking about potentially 2 tornadoes, 2 rotating thunderstorms, and I'm going to put this into motion so you can get some perspective of how quickly this is moving through and the immense rain associated with it. So it's not just obviously the damaging winds, it's also thousands of lightning strikes, cloud to ground lightning mixed in there with other types as well. But you can see the storm moving fairly quickly. As Scott mentioned, that southern part of the storm, the southern part of the warning, which is right here, this is moving east at about 40 miles an hour. And as we take a zoom in on that area, Scott, I'm going to stop this radar so we can actually see the exact location. You can see all the towns that we're concerned about. You mentioned Norristown, Ambler, Abington, and Cheltenham. And I just want to take a look briefly through the Dix radar and look at the hail associated with this particular cell. I'm going to keep the warning on, and we can see, zooming out, the shear. It looks like the hail, there's more hail with that storm to the north. And as we look at the shear to see if there's any shear with this, there seems like there is a lot of shear to the west as this storm is moving eastward. So we're going to keep an eye on both of those locations as we move eastward. And we're also going to look at the debris. We're not seeing a big debris field in this particular area, but if we were, that would be an indication. If we're seeing multiple colors in these boxes, that would mean that something touched the ground and picked up trees, i.e. a funnel or a tornado, and we would see some debris, things being thrown into the air. But I'm not seeing right now, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, and you can see on the right of the television screen, I believe that's Chris O'Connell. He's been roving this afternoon, watching not only severe weather. There, look at that lightning there. Just saw that lightning. So it's had that vivid lightning, cloud to ground lightning, and just dark, ominous clouds with a lot of moisture content with this. So those rainfall rates 2 to 3 inches per hour. Our other source has the rotation history on it as well. And you can see it's had that history of producing some trees down, some wires down through Berks County. Berks County getting hit yet again this week, last week. Severe weather, and there was a brief tornado for that area last week, but the heat, the humidity has been fueling those showers and thunderstorms, and now they've turned severe, and we have the potential for a tornado. So just recapping, 2 tornado warnings. We have both in Montgomery County until about 5:45, moving to the east 30 to 40 miles per hour. Some of the areas included in that potential tornado area would be Norristown, West Norton, Conshohocken, Hatboro, Ambler, Jenkintown, Rockledge, Brenathan, Willow Grove, Valley Forge, King of Prussia, Germantown, Paoli, Radnor, Horsham as well. That's in southeastern Montgomery County. And then you have the northwestern Montgomery County. That includes Lansdale, Solderton, Hatfield, Green Lane, Springmount, Gilbertsville, Skippack, Sellersville, Harleysville, Pottsgrove, Culpsville and Montgomeryville, so you'll want to seek shelter immediately. So you can see just bad timing with this. We're talking about the afternoon evening rush, blinding rainfall potentially, and you can see the traffic there, City Ave, Valley Forge, headed to the west there. So you can just see those ominous clouds in the distance. And Kathy, are you seeing anything else at street level?
Yes, I just wanted to show you the areas, the neighborhoods that are under this warning, this potential tornado in parts of Montgomery County. So Schwanksville, Skippack Pike, that's included. Harleysville Pike included. Even Moyer Road, this is near Franconia. So just want to give you this perspective of these are the neighborhoods. So if you know anybody in this area, as we go over toward Hatfield, the storm is right about to move into your neighborhood. So as we take a zoom in, Penn Street, even in Orvilla, Welsh Road, Allentown Road, these are the areas that you potentially could be experiencing the rain and the wind associated with a tornado. We're going to take a zoom in, Scott. This is the second tornado warning that you said originated near Westchester, moving east at 40 miles an hour. And when we take a closer look at this, from Norristown to Conshohocken to Ambler, and we look at the amount of area that this covers, these storms are dropping rain at a rate of at least 1 to 2 inches an hour. So it's going to be very hard to see if you're driving in this area. The storms are moving toward White Marsh as we speak, and Ambler. So if you travel on any of these roads, Butler Pike, a big thoroughfare through this area, Joshua Road, I know that one well as well. Ambler, we're talking about Dillon Road, Norristown Road, even as you head further toward the east, let's see, Maple Ave, North Tyson into Willow Grove. Please be aware that even the Willow Grove area is under this tornado warning. They are within the watch box. So we're looking at Abington, Jenkintown. Here's another cell that is in that area as well. But we're talking about torrential downpours and winds that could be 80, 90 miles an hour perhaps with this storm. And it's moving to the east rather quickly. So you have the combination of damaging winds associated with torrential downpours with this heat and humidity. And this is the area that we're talking about. So to the west, East Norton, Norristown, and Conshohocken, you are in the storm right now. It is moving east at 40 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. And as the storm moves eastward, we're going to continue to show how quickly this is moving. So if we go east at 40 miles an hour, I'm going to go all the way across the board, and you will see where the storm is going to be. I'm even going to zoom out so you can see all these towns. We're talking about Wayne at 534, Upton at 537, Valley Forge Acres at 537, Conshohocken Station at about 538. So once again, your tornado warning is moving eastward from Radnor and Conshohocken, moving toward the east at 40 miles an hour. So once again, if you live in any of these areas, please make sure that you get to an interior room of your home, away from the windows, and wait until this storm passes. We always say, where do you go, Scott? We talk about this all the time. Interior room of your home, away from the windows, and if you have a basement, that would be the safest place. If you hear that thunder, make sure you get everybody inside because the storm is heading possibly toward your area. And as we look a little bit wider view of the Delaware Valley, and we put this radar into motion, you can see how quickly this is moving. It's right on schedule to be in Philadelphia fairly soon, and those tornado warnings continue to pass to the north of Philadelphia. But as you can see, a little bit of this box looks like it's dipping into Philadelphia. Let's take a look at that. Can you see that any
absolutely
clearer?
Into sections of
right here.
Yeah, into
northeast. Yeah, northeast Philadelphia. Let's take a zoom because this tornado box is extending into the northern part of Philadelphia County. And I want to make sure we get in close enough there. The storm is to the west, so we're talking about Allen Lane near Ridge Ave. That area, please be aware, even River Road. Right now the storm's over River Road, Manor Road. It's moving east of Conshohocken. once again, this is the storm that's moving east at 40 miles an hour. So if you're familiar with Allen Lane, East Vernon Road, Chew Ave, even Ogons Ave, heavily traveled, you are in this tornado warning box right here, East Oak Lane, and even Fern Rock. So if you live in those neighborhoods of Philadelphia, you're included in this area. As we widen out, I want to show you how quickly this is moving, and this is part of the tornado warning area, and it's just going right through the northern and northeastern part of Philadelphia. So right now the storm is over Norristown, moving east. We have already looked at the fact that there was some hail associated with this, and we're trying to see if there's any other indicators of rotation with this particular storm. I'm not seeing a lot of hail on this right now, and that would be a good thing, Scott. I'm going to take off the radar.
A few hail reports coming in from New Hanover Township in Montgomery County. Dime-sized hail has been reported there. Coatesville in Chester County reports a water rescue on Merchant Street. That's in Chester County, Coatesville area. Fire Department rescue reports a flash flood in that vicinity. So, of course, these have had a history of producing hail, vivid lightning, as well as flash flooding across the Delaware Valley. So that's what we're watching, and we still have the continuation of the tornado warning for sections of Montgomery County until about 5:45, so another 10 minutes or so. And as we look at Ultimate Doppler on our maps computer, you can see the rotation history of that, the shear analysis, showing that it's had a history of rotation since it moved out of sections of Berks County and Chester County. So that blue moving through Pottstown, moving through the Norristown area, showing you it's had a history of some rotation. But tornado, no tornado. These have had a history of winds gusting over 70 miles per hour, producing trees down, wires down through sections of Chester County, now moving into Montgomery County. So those boxes that you see, those are the current tornado warnings. So we've been talking about those dew points, and look at this. Dew points are in the 70s, so very tropical in nature. There's also a little spin in the atmosphere. What we look at is called helicity. This shows you some of the storm rotation, and you can see it over the Delmarva Peninsula toward our area this evening. So there is enough spin in the atmosphere for some of these brief potential rain-wrapped tornadoes. So that's what we're following. But you can see, in addition to those red boxes, the burgundy boxes off to the south and west through Berks County, Chester County, those are where we have active flash flood warnings. Several inches of rain has already fallen in those particular areas. So that severe weather threat continues through this evening, that severe thunderstorm watch. And just look at the storm reports as I zoom in just off to the west, and you can see it's had a history of hail, some hail the size of quarters around 422 as we watch this system kind of move on off to the east. So once again, it's had a history of that. Over the next several hours, it will be pushing through Philadelphia into South Jersey, Delaware, but the good news, as it pushes south and east, it will be weakening. I mean, look at the temperatures. 94 degrees right now, and you know, we haven't talked a lot about this, but this is actually our third official heat wave of the season. Take a look at the temperatures. 95 in Hamilton head of that front, so that's the heat, the humidity to fuel the system, and temperatures will be cooling as we watch that front move in. And also look at this, we're talking airport delays well over 1 hour. I believe a ground stop has been issued for the Philadelphia International Airport, Kathy.
Yeah, that's it's amazing. I mean, we knew this was coming, and here it comes. And when you look at your screen, the picture at the top, that is King of Prussia. That's right here, just to the west of the tornado warning box. And all that heavy rain is moving eastward. The lower picture on your screen is our Chris O'Connell, who is roving in the Weather Beast, and he'll be bringing us some live reports, seeing all that heavy rain and that slow-moving traffic. So we're going to take a look, a zoom in here. We're going to go back to the storm to the north, a potential tornado warning box to the north, and you can see it right here. Green Lane, Salford, Franconia, Hatfield, into Hilltown. And Scott, you were talking about the indicators for the storm. When I put on the shear tracker for this particular storm in the past hour. I'm going to take off. You can see this box. All this green is the shear that was pretty heavy through Pottstown, Charlestown, Collegeville, and now is still lingering into Franconia, but it doesn't look quite as prolific as it did previously. And the same thing here, Melbourne seeing more shear in Radnor, and as the warning goes eastward, we're looking at potential for some weakening of the shear, which would be good.
Yeah,
the hail
I
indicators.
just got word in, Kathy. They're going to expire one of. Let me see here. The tornado warning
Is it this one?
They're going to expire one of these tornado warnings. They're going to expire the southern one.
The southern one.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if you look right here, here are two warnings. Here's the southern one you mentioned expiring. Here's the northern one. The northern one, this is all the hail associated, as you had shown on our computer system in the Weather Center. So that is all the heavy hail that continued into this area near Franconia. So they're keeping this warning, the severe thunderstorm, possible tornado in Green Lane, Selford, Schwenksville, Franconia. That's where we have our tornado warning currently. A rotating thunderstorm indicated on Doppler radar, and the National Weather Service obviously put out that tornado warning as a precaution to make sure that everyone knew that there was a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado in this area. And Scott, you had said this is the system that is moving east at about 20 miles an hour. The other one was 40.
Yep.
This is so the heavy rain associated with this. You talked about
It looks
the
like
rain
they're going to
rates.
expire the other one too.
Good.
Let's see here. Yep, I'm getting alerts going off here.
Great.
Just in the chat room here with the National Weather Service, and they're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning. Still the possibility of producing a tornado and producing, as we mentioned, the potential for those winds gusting over 70 miles per hour, as well as quarter-sized hail. But looks like it's going to be allowed to expire.
Okay.
So that's the good news.
Okay.
The not so good news, we still have, of course, the torrential downpours that are going to continue, as well as the flash flooding concern over the next several hours, because I mean this is going to be pushing to the east at about 30 miles per hour. You can see the heavy rainfall on the right hand side of your screen. We have Chris O'Connell that's been roving, and we also have, of course, that live camera from the King of Prussia area. So it's had a history of wind damage, some quarter-sized hail, vivid lightning. Lightning can also produce fires. We've seen that happen before as well. And if you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. But I mean, we had the tropical remnant moisture yesterday from Chantal that produced some rainfall across our area, and it really kind of primed the atmosphere for this afternoon's severe weather with the front that's been approaching, Kathy.
Yeah, and our number one concern was the downpours and the flash flooding, because obviously that is very scary. There's a lot of people on the road right now, obviously, for the afternoon and evening commute. So we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that area, for Montgomery County, and that's been extended, a severe thunderstorm warning for Bucks County now until 6:15, because all of this is moving eastward, and this is very heavy rain. There's also an area through Chester County. This is all going to converge on Philadelphia. So if you live in the city of Philadelphia, you haven't seen anything yet, you will, because all of this is moving fairly quickly to the east. They're fast-moving storms, and these downpours are putting down at least 1 to 2 inches of rain an hour. I'm going to send it back over to our news desk as those 2 tornado warnings have been expired. Oh, what is that? Okay. All right. We're going to continue with the coverage of these storms as we continue to widen out here. And I want to show you the magnitude of this, because it's not just this area that's north and west of the city. It's all the way down right near the Chesapeake Bay. So all of this has to move toward the southeast. So right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bucks County, and that severe thunderstorm warning now for Montgomery County. We have been told that those severe thunderstorm warnings will continue, obviously, and take over the place of that tornado warning. As you mentioned, Scott, those have been allowed to expire. So we're going to take a quick break and come back with more coverage and more news right after this.
It is time now to check in with your weather authority. This is a live look somewhere out there. Is this King of Prussia, Chelsea? All right, this is King of Prussia. You can see the mall off in the distance and the rain just soaking the lens there. Many parts of our area are under a severe thunderstorm watch, a tornado warning from multiple counties, including Montgomery, Delaware, and Philadelphia just expiring. Scott has your forecast in 15 seconds.
Yeah, certainly a busy afternoon and evening ahead. Over the next several hours, we still have that severe thunderstorm watch until about 9 p.m. We're watching this line of showers and thunderstorms with a history of producing severe weather. Still severe thunderstorm warnings along the I-95 corridor, north and west suburbs, moving up that northeast extension until about 6:15 for sections of Bucks County, until Philadelphia County until 6:30. And look at that heavy rainfall along 476, 276 as you move into 202, looking at very heavy rainfall. Heavy, in fact, you might have to pull to the side of the road if you're out and about. So just wait these storms out as we continue to follow them, moving on off to the east at about 35 to 45 miles per hour. That heavy rainfall through Montgomery County. It's had a history of producing heavy rainfall as well as those gusty winds. Dew points are very tropical in nature. Still can't rule out a brief spin up of a tornado. We do have that storm energy in place for that over the next several hours, but of course diminishing activity as this pushes to the south and the east. So once again, yeah, we just said that, and you can see right there a new tornado warning, Kathy, just popped up for sections of Bucks County. So that is the latest right now. We do have a new tornado warning until what time, Kathy?
New tornado warning for, let's see, Montgomery County, Bucks County, and Philadelphia County until 6:30.
Okay, so you can see we're still watching rotation with these, and I just said that we could potentially have another brief spin up. So we have a newly issued tornado warning, folks. Breaking news, this is in for sections of Bucks County. So what we're going to do is adjust the ultimate Doppler accordingly for that, and you can see as we zoom in, this includes, it looks like, the Bensalem area, lower Southampton, Northampton, Warminster, the Levittown area. This is the area that we're watching for more rotation. So tornado warning just issued for this area until 6:30. Kathy, do you have any information on how fast it's moving?
Yes, right now it says it's moving east at 30 miles an hour, Scott. So we're going to put what we call a skit here, and we're going to see which direction all of this is moving in. And you can see it's moving east at about, let's say, 30 miles an hour, and here's the center of the storm. So if we put a speed and direction on this moving eastward, these are the towns that it will be near in the next several minutes. So we're talking about Pine Woods by 6 o'clock, Feasterville by 6:02, Trevose by 6:04, Holland by 6:04, and even into Nottingham by 6:06. So this is the official warning from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning in effect for east central Montgomery, southeastern Bucks, and also northeastern Philadelphia, and this is until 6:30. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Bryn Atham, or 10 miles northeast of Philadelphia, moving east at 30 miles an hour. So when we look at the areas impacted, and I'm going to remove the radar so we can just look at the warning itself. I'm going to take this off, and we can look at the towns that are going to be impacted. So this is the warned area. Let's take a zoom in, and we'll show you all the neighborhoods that we're concerned about. So Langhorne, Pendle, Bensalem, Newtown, Levittown, Tullytown. This is the area of concern. And if I add the radar back on there, you'll be able to see all of the heavy rain associated with it. These storms have a history, obviously, of damaging winds and also the potential for large hail. So locations to be concerned with: Philadelphia, Trenton, Bensalem, Ewing, Bristol, Hatboro, Yardley, Tullytown, Langhorne, Newtown, Ivyland, and that's in central Bucks County, Feasterville, Trevose, as I mentioned, northeast Philadelphia, including the airport area, Woodside, Richboro, Langhorne, and Levittown. So please, if you live in this area, get into an interior room of your home, away from the windows, and wait until this dangerous storm passes. And we're going to show you it's moving east, as I mentioned, at about 30 miles an hour. So that's a pretty fast speed, and it's dropping a lot of rain in a short period of time. So you're talking talking about drenching thunderstorms. This one, a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and this moving east at 30 miles an hour. So very heavy rain, flooding rain associated with this. And as we take a look at some of the markers, as we looked in our past storms, we look for something called shear, and we see a lot of it with this particular cell. You can see right over here through Bensalem, Abington. This is an indication right here of some shear. So that's as you go high up in the atmosphere, the wind moving in different directions and different speeds, and that does tell us that there is some spin. We also look at our hail indicators to see if there's some hail associated with this. There's more spin than hail. Most of the hail was to the west, according to this particular model, and we look for potential for any type of debris. Right now, this is more of clutter with the radar than that, so that's a good indication for us. But once again, the storm is moving east, and we're going to put an indicator on that. The storm is moving east, potential tornado moving east at 30 miles an hour, and at that speed and direction, it is going to hit some communities that are pretty busy for this time of evening. In Trenton, Southampton, Trevose, Holland. The storm will be there at 6:05, Trevose at 6:06, Neshaminy Falls at 6:08, and even Oakford at 6:08. Obviously, we also talked about Levittown. Please make sure that you are prepared for extremely heavy rain and even potential for flooding with these storms, because it is such an intense storm system with the rain rates, as we mentioned, in the heat and humidity of at least 1 to 2 inches an hour as the storm moves toward the east. So this is the warning area we're talking about, and this is torrential rain in the warned area. So we do have some shear with this. We do have some spin with this. It is a potential tornado. We could have a weak tornado. If it is one, winds would be 80, 90 miles an hour perhaps. Langhorne, Pendle, Newtown, Levittown. The storm is over this area right now, and I'm going to go right in between Pendle and Langhorne. East Bristol Road, Old Lincoln Highway. If there's anyone that's traveling in this direction, even Neshaminy Boulevard, give them a call and let them know there's a tornado warning in the area, and make sure they make other plans or just stay safe inside until this storm passes. But a lot of very heavily traveled areas here, even in the Bensalem area. We're looking at Lincoln Highway and Galloway Road. As we look a little bit farther to the north in that warning area near Langhorne, Langhorne Manor, Superhighway, East Maple Ave, even into Veterans Highway. This is the area that is under a tornado warning, and this is until 6:30 this afternoon. And Scott, I mean, we have several other warnings going on here, some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And as we look at the wider view, this is just part of a line of severe weather that is moving through the area. So we have additional severe thunderstorms, and I'm just going to zoom in on a few of these so we make sure that everybody is weather aware right now with the warnings. So let's put the warnings back on, and I can show you this. This is heading toward New Jersey. Severe thunderstorm warning for Burlington County until 6:45. This is another severe thunderstorm warning. This cell coming from Delco, and that is a severe thunderstorm warning for Camden, New Jersey until 6:45. So this is a line of severe thunderstorms capable of producing a few tornadoes, as we have seen already, with one tornado warning still in effect for east central Montgomery, southeastern Bucks, and northeastern Philadelphia until 6:30. Scott, are you getting any additional information into the Weather Center?
Just that this whole line with the history of producing those winds in excess of 60, 70 miles per hour, producing flash flooding, ponding on the roadways. There have been a couple of high water rescues through sections of Chester County, but pretty much the entire line from Mercer County down to Newcastle County has turned severe. So we're talking about those winds gusting over 60 miles per hour, hail, vivid cloud to ground lightning, and we do have that tornado warn cell for southern sections of Bucks County. So the atmosphere is primed. We had temperatures today that made it into the 90s. We have that cold front that's approaching. We'll go to maps right now and just show you just the radar and show you that area in Bucks County that keeping tabs on. You can see some of the areas, Bensalem, Bristol around 618, Levittown 622. Roebling around 6:26. So this has had a history of heavy rainfall. The potential, of course, Doppler radar indicates rotation with this. It's moving to the east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So a pretty good clip moving through sections of Bucks County. This is lower Bucks County, south of 202. So once again, south of 202 in Bucks County. That's pretty much where we are watching for this potential rain-wrapped tornado. 276 Northampton, Ben Salem looking at the heavy rainfall, moving toward Bristol, Holly Hill, Middletown, through sections of Bucks County right now. And just look at the lightning associated with this, moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So the sheer analysis showing you, there's a Street Road. So around Street Road in Ben Salem, everyone knows that takes you to the casino. We're talking about, of course, torrential downpours, heavy rain. There's been some rotation. You can see that blue kind of crossing Street Road through sections. That's actually in northeast Philadelphia. So a portion of northeast Philadelphia into Bucks County is under the potential tornado warning for this cell until about 6:30, Kathy. And look at some of the storm reports coming in just off to the west. Berks County, there's trees down, wires down, Chester County, as well as sections of Montgomery County. So those winds gusting over 60 miles per hour as all of this moves on off to the east. Hail, it's also been an issue with this system. Some quarter-sized hail earlier through northern Chester County, western Montgomery County. This has had a history of some small hail with it, moving out of Montgomery County and into the Bucks County area. So just some small hail is likely with this. So over the next several hours, we're still watching this push on off to the east as it will be weakening. But you can see the ominous clouds top right hand of your screen, and of course just the wet roadways out there. So bad timing. I mean, it's Tuesday. A lot of folks are probably back to work if they took yesterday off and extended their 4th of July holiday weekend. And we're talking about that heavy rainfall, severe weather all along the I-95 corridor, north and west suburbs, and now it's pushing into South Jersey.
Absolutely. So we have several severe thunderstorm warnings, one tornado warning. We want to remind you that's for east central Montgomery, southeastern Bucks, and northeast Philadelphia. And I want to take a zoom in to Philadelphia because that picture in the upper right of your screen is Philadelphia at this moment. And you can see we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That severe thunderstorm warning you can see right here for the Philadelphia area as the storm system moves on eastward. And I'm going to put this in a current mode so it's not going to move on us. And let's take a zoom in because this is moving out of Chester and moving across Collingdale, Drexel Hill into Philadelphia. Severe thunderstorm warning for Philadelphia, and that is until 6:30. We're hearing the rumbles of thunder outside of our studio. We're in Old City, Philadelphia, and this warning will continue into Cherry Hill in Camden County, Haddon, Belmar, Deptford, Marlton, Mount Laurel. That will continue eastward into Burlington County as well. So we're watching that severe cell in Philadelphia, and rain rates have been about 1 to 2 inches at least an hour. These storms are fast movers, so we're seeing at least 1 to 2 inches in these drenching downpours and these severe cells. And once again, we're going to refocus on that tornado warning as it continues to move into Bucks County at this point. And Scott, you mentioned we have hail, we have potential rotation as seen on Doppler radar from the National Weather Service, and we also have shear, which indicates the spin. And you can see the area of concern right now is Newtown, Pendle, and into Levittown, and this is all moving eastward. It's moving east at about 30 miles an hour, and it will continue to move toward Trenton and Ewing, but right along the river, that is where the storm will expire.
Look
so
at
that's
the
good
airport.
news.
I mean, I think that's a live look at the airport.
Yes.
Just blinding rain, no question about it. There's no planes taking off, and there are no inbound flights getting into PHL right now. I mean, this is what we're talking about with those rainfall rates, 2, maybe 3 inches per hour, just blinding rain, gusty winds, and we're also talking about the vivid lightning. So, I mean, it's just the perfect storm, if you will, for severe weather. We had high temperatures today in the 90s, marking our third heat wave of the year. Now we have severe weather. We still have that tornado warning for sections of Bucks County, Ben-Salem, Bryn-Athyn, Langhorne, Levittown. Seek shelter immediately. Doppler radar indicating the potential rotation that could produce a brief rain-wrapped tornado. So we're talking about maybe potential winds over 70 miles per hour with that potential tornado warned sail. So once again, it looks like they allowed, did they just allow that to drop?
You know what, can you check our computer system? Because we have a direct link to those warnings and we get alerted
they
immediately.
just canceled it.
Yep. I agree.
So
yeah, severe
good.
thunderstorm warning now for Bucks County, and you can see severe thunderstorm for all of Philadelphia County, severe thunderstorm for the northern part of Camden County, severe thunderstorm for Burlington County, and severe thunderstorm for the southeastern corner of Montgomery County, all till about 6:30 at least. But yes, Scott, it looks as though that tornado warning has been allowed to expire, but we continue to see this line of severe weather. And I do want to mention, you brought up earlier that severe thunderstorm warning for Newcastle County, Delaware until 6:45, and that is a line of severe weather that's coming across the Delaware Bay, I should say the Chesapeake Bay, into the eastern shore of Maryland, and then expected to go right into Delaware and then into South Jersey. So we are definitely not out of the woods with this severe weather. If you haven't heard the rumbles of thunder yet, if you're in South Jersey, it is definitely going to be moving your way in the next half hour to hour. That is the latest of our severe weather tornado coverage. We're going to take a short break and be right back.
We are tracking severe weather conditions after tornado warnings across our area. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dawn Timoney.
And I'm Sheba Russell. This is all part of a cold front. And until we get through this, we're going to be dealing with heavy rain, gusty winds, you name it. We want to go straight out to our Chris O'Connell, who's out in the storms tonight. Chris, where are you and what are you seeing?
We just made our way basically from northeast Philadelphia through the Schuylkill Expressway. We went right through this storm, Sheba. It was really bad at one point on the Schuylkill Expressway. Those storms rolling through the area right now. Take a look at where I'm at now. Plymouth meeting. Things calmed down a little bit, but we can tell you we've been monitoring some damage reports from the National Weather Service, and the damage reports are really scattered throughout our area. We're getting trees down. I'm just reading right now from the damage for the National Weather Service. Trees down, roads flooded out in Oxford, Chester County. Road flooding on roadways in Nottingham, Chester County. That coming through just a few seconds ago. We're on our way right now to a tree down across the roadway in Norristown, Norriton area, a large tree blocking the roadway at the corner of Hillcrest Avenue and Evergreen Road. So things like this scattered all over, trees down, power lines down. Berks County is getting hit pretty hard. We've been monitoring some of the EMS activity. Trees are down all over the place. I've also been looking at the customers of Pico customers who are affected by power outages continue to climb tonight. Right now, 21,000 people without power, and they're all over the place, anywhere from the Downingtown area to the Delaware County, a lot in the Upper Darby, Drexel Hill, Sharon Hill, Glen Olden, if you're hearing me, a lot of your power is out. Also up in the Glenside, Willow Grove, Abington area, King of Prussia area, Malvern and Wayne, a lot without power. So that's what we're dealing with now. If you haven't seen it yet, you may see it. I know the shore is coming at it next with this radar. You see some of that radar coming at you. It's just been a wild and wet afternoon here in the Philadelphia area, and it's still not done yet as we continue to follow this these summer storms. here in our area. Just be very careful if you're out there. We're seeing trees, limbs come down, not entire trees, but tree limbs come down, flooded roadways. The old adage, if you know, turn around, don't drown. If you can't see the bottom of the road, don't go through it. We see countless people trying to do that. So just be aware. Storms rolling through. Of course, we'll keep you updated. If we have anything else, we'll bring you back out here live in Montgomery County right now, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Obviously, be smart. The main message, we can hear the thunder rumbling outside our studios right now. Thank you, Chris.
A line of severe thunderstorms moving across the entire region. One severe cell, of course, moving right through Philadelphia as we speak. Some moving into Jersey and also into Delaware. Rain rates 1 to 2 inches an hour. Many places have already picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain. Here is a line of severe weather moving eastward. It's going to be moving into Delaware and to South Jersey, and it's not going to end until all this rain hits the shore. Flash flood warnings in effect for the good part of our area, especially our northern western suburbs, including Philadelphia County, where 2 to 3 inches of rain has already fallen. On the 7-day forecast, more chances of some downpours as we go through the end of the week. Tomorrow, this front is going to linger, so we do expect more storms with some downpours for your Wednesday. Scattered storms Thursday, Friday 87. Still a pop-up storm possible Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, a few pop-up storms as well, and that will continue into Tuesday. So an unsettled pattern, but the big focus is going to be through this evening as that severe threat goes all the way to the shore, and that severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 9 p.m. tonight. As we continue to look at our weather hazards now and as we go into the evening, heat and high humidity fueling these severe storms. If you live in counties to the southeast of Philadelphia and South Jersey, like Atlantic County, even the lower parts of Camden County, Burlington County, these storms are going to be moving toward you within the next hour. Flash flooding has been a calling card with every severe thunderstorm. There have been drenching downpours because of the high humidity, so additional flash flooding is expected in South Jersey. Winds have been gusting to at least 60 miles an hour in these severe storms, so that is potentially a hazard as well. And of course, if anybody is down at the beach, the risks of rough surf and rip currents will continue into the evening. But these are our main threats, obviously, with flash flooding concerns and also the threat of those high winds, and those high winds will continue as well. Right now down the shore, it's a little bit quiet, and Wildwood temperatures down there are still in the upper 80s, but that is going to change when the storms move in. Temperatures are in the 70s where we've seen the severe weather. Look at the huge change in South Jersey and Hamilton. We're at 90 degrees, 89 degrees in Millville. And as we look at the dew point temperatures, this is part of the problem. We still have some of that moisture lingering from the tropical system Chantal that moved offshore. So you still have tropical moisture over us. You have a front approaching from the west, and it's just squeezing out all this moisture. So it's a tropical situation, and that's why we're seeing these extreme rain rates and heavy rain that's already fallen. So in those warning areas, we're talking about 2 to 3 inches of rain that's already fallen, and potential for at least another half an inch to an inch by the time all is said and done. Overnight, temperatures will be in the 70s. It's going to stay pretty humid. We're going to watch this frontal boundary move closer, but the problem is it's moving very slow. And as the storm system continues to push to the east toward the shore by about the 8-9 o'clock hour, we're going to watch this front lag behind, and it's not going to clear the area until later in the week. So the threat of rain is going to continue in the afternoon due to our daytime heating and that tropical feel that is going to still hang over us tonight and even into the day tomorrow. As we look at the 10-day trend, yes, we're looking at some warm temperatures, of course, for your Wednesday. Thursday, we're at 84. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, still a threat of some storms in the 80s. And then here we go again next week as high temperatures get back into the 90s with heat and humidity. So more storms obviously expected as we go through the weekend, and potentially with heat and humidity next week. So more of the same, guys, that we're going to be experiencing as we go through at least the next 10 days.
All right, Kathy, thank you.
And breaking news, we have a new tornado warning for sections of Ocean County. And of course, are watching ultimate Doppler with that rotation with this. It's moving to the east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So it does include northern sections of Ocean County. So as we go to radar right now, you can see what we're watching. Tornado warning that has been issued for sections of Ocean County, a sliver of Monmouth County as well. So this is moving on off to the east right now. So as we put a query on this, you can see we're talking about a portion also of Burlington County until about 7:15. This is moving on off to the east right now, moving through sections of, let's see here, Woodruff, or it's about 16 miles west of Toms River, moving east at about 20 miles per hour. So some of the areas included in this, we'll zoom in a little closer. Toms River, of course, Leisure Village, Six Flags is in the vicinity of this. Also, Plumstead. Let's see here. We also have West Freehold, Holiday City, Berkeley, Leisure Knoll, and New Egypt. So I think the strongest portion of this particular cell is around the Plumstead area, Brindletown, and New Egypt. So this is moving once again to the east at about 20 miles per hour. So you'll want to seek shelter immediately as we put a tracker on this. Collier's Mills. 6:52 is when it would arrive there, and once again this goes until about 7:15. We're getting new information on this entire line of showers and thunderstorms that's had a history of producing severe weather that's been on the move. I think we have Kathy standing by. Kathy, do you have any new information on this tornado warning?
Yes, officially from the National Weather Service, they said a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Woodruff, or 16 miles west of Toms River, moving east at 20 miles an hour. So you can see the tornado warned area, and I'm just going to take a zoom in because it's the extreme northeastern part of Burlington County and the southern part of Monmouth County. But as you mentioned, the focus right here is the northern part of Ocean County, and these are the areas of concern. The storm will be moving toward Toms River, Lakewood, Jackson, Lakehurst, the Six Flags theme park. If you know anyone that's at Six Flags, give them a call and let them know their area is under a tornado warning. Also Freewood Acres, Jackson Mills, Leisure Village, and heading toward New Egypt as well. Once again, this is until 7:15, a tornado warning, and we're just going to show you, as Scott had mentioned, this storm is moving east at 20 miles an hour. This is the area of concern, and as we move this particular point, 20 miles an hour, you can see the area of concern: Jackson, Collier's Mills, Cedar Glen, Lakewood, Candlewood, Burkesville, and Jackson. So this storm has a history of producing torrential downpours and potentially a tornado with winds in excess of 70, 80, maybe even 90 miles an hour. So once again, that tornado warning until 7:15 for Ocean County, the storm moving east at 20 miles an hour. If there are any more tornado warnings, we will be breaking in with more information as a severe line of storms moves through the Delaware Valley. We'll go back to regularly scheduled programming. They told me that we're going to continue with this coverage of this potential tornado. So let's go back to the radar now, and we're going to show you the area of concern here as we widen out. This is a line of severe weather. We have one severe thunderstorm that was just added. This is Salem County until 7:30, and along the eastern shore of Maryland, moving over the Chesapeake into Delaware. This particular cell is said to potentially contain considerable damage. This is a line, and this is the eastern shore, and I'm showing you this because this could move into Delaware and then move into South Jersey, and it's already been labeled as potentially dangerous. So we're going to keep an eye on that, possibly heading toward Kent County. So our main concern right now is this area that is in Ocean County, northern Ocean County, including Toms River. And if I remove the radar to show the area of concern and zoom in, we can talk about exactly the area under the warning, the tornado warning. And we're going to zoom in to look at some areas here like Upper Freehold and Jackson. And if I add on the radar, you'll be able to see where the heaviest rain is. And also the roads that we're talking about that are in this vicinity. So you know this is a very popular way to get to the beach. Lakewood Road, Pinehurst Road,
multiple
Hawkins
branches
Road.
are reported down in the Plumstead area, Kathy.
Yeah,
so
that
you
would
have that zoomed in right there. So
Yeah.
what is that, Long Swamp Road, I believe?
Okay, yes, we have northeastern Burlington County is included as well, and also southern parts of Monmouth County. But the main thrust of this, as you can see, the area of concern is in this area that's already heading to the east into Plumstead and also crossing over into Ocean County. And Scott, I'm going to take a quick look at our radar and look at the hail shear markers as well. And you can see this is the hail, and there is a lot of this from Fort Dix. This was in Burlington County where the storm was first detected, that rotating thunderstorm, and now it's crossed into Plumstead, and it's going to continue into Jackson and Ocean County. So yes, there is a lot of hail associated with this. And we look at the shear. Oh wow, take a look at this. When we look at shear, we're watching this grow, and this is a rotation detection. You can see over Fort Dix it's a little spotty, but as it crosses over toward Plumstead into Ocean County, it gets more vibrant. So no doubt the National Weather Service saw this and said, okay, this is a potential tornado here, and that's why they issued that. So this is the area of concern. You're in the northwestern corner right now of Ocean County, and this storm is moving east. I'm going to put that warning box back on because this is definitely the cell that's moving toward the east at, I believe, 20 miles an hour. So that's also, because when you have a tornado warning and you have the cell that's moving east at 20, it's not only creating these damaging winds, it's also putting down some tropical downpours. These storms typically have had a rain rate of 1 to 2 inches an hour. With this particular cell, it is so robust and it's moving so slowly, it would be dumping more rain because it's moving slow in nature. And, you know, Scott, we're going to take a look at some of these roads. You mentioned Plumstead with all the trees down. It makes sense with the wind potential that we would be seeing with this storm. And we want to take a look here because this is the areas that we're talking about. Lakewood Road, Pinehurst Road, Hawkins Road, Hopkins Road, West Veterans Highway, and it's moving toward Toms River Road, Jackson, Freehold Road. Of course, Jackson is where Six Flags is, and the tornado warning includes Six Flags. So if you have any friends that are at the theme park, please give them a call and let them know that that area is under a tornado warning as we speak. If you hear a rumble of thunder, please make sure you get everyone inside and just know that this area is in the warning. We always ask people to make sure they take their precautions, and we can't stress this enough. Go to an interior room of your home, away from the windows. If you have a basement, get to the basement and wait until this threat ends, because it is going to continue until the 7 o'clock hour. So as we look at this, you can see Jackson, Bowman Road, East Veterans Highway, Bennett's Mills Road, even into Grawtown Road. This whole area is under that tornado warning until 7:15. So it was the southwestern Monmouth County, still under the warning. Northeastern Burlington, it's moved out of that area, and now it's in northern Ocean. So as we take a look out, you can see the area of concern that we're talking about. Now around this area, this is a severe thunderstorm watch. The warning is just to the east of Fort Dix. So it's moved into Ocean County, Monmouth County, heading toward Jackson, and you can see these purples and reds in this warning area. I mean, this is extremely heavy rain that we're seeing in Upper Freehold, and it's heading toward Jackson. It's all spreading eastward as the storm moves eastward. We know that there's potentially large hail in this particular storm, and there's a lot of spin that has been detected to the west of it and continues into this area, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take maps, and we can see what we're watching here on Ultimate Doppler, and you can see that that area includes New Egypt, also moving just south of 195, including a portion of 195, moving right through Ocean County, sections of southern Monmouth County. Vivid lightning with this, as well as torrential downpour. So we'll zoom in once again some of the areas in question. Plumstead, lots of lightning, heavy rainfall. Midwood moving toward Jackson. We talked about the Six Flags area being in this tornado warning as well until 7:15. So blinding rainfall with this cell, as well as we're talking about vivid lightning. So So a flash flood concern will exist because it's moving to the east 15 to about 20 miles per hour. So once again, as we kind of focus in on this, still dry around Pine Lake Park, Lakewood, Jackson. It's closing in on you right now, as well as the Plumstead area, one of the harder hit areas right now with this particular cell. Look at all of the lightning associated with that line of showers and storms pushing to the east. So it's moved through the north and west suburbs. That severe weather threat has diminished, but to the east of it, we're watching, of course, severe thunderstorm warning for sections of Burlington County, Ocean County, and that tornado warning. But as we get to the south of that line, we're talking about severe thunderstorm warnings also for Salem and into Cumberland County. So once again, as we look at that rotation, that shear analysis, take a look at this. Good indication that ultimate Doppler showing you that rotation moving out of sections of Burlington County into, of course, Ocean County. So that has prompted that tornado warning for the area. If you're around Midwood, Plumstead, Jackson, you want to seek shelter immediately. This is moving on off to the east at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So, of course, it's had a history of damaging wind gusts. So take a look at all of those trees down, wires down off to the west of this particular cell. We had multiple tornado warnings earlier this evening in Montgomery County, one in Lower Bucks, and now that has crossed the river into sections of Ocean County right now. So as we focus in on what's been happening in that red box, that's where we have that current ongoing tornado warning. So you can see I've queried this, multiple branches reported down. This includes the Plumstead area, and that's where we had, of course, some of that indication. Also, let's see if we can query another area, New Egypt, wires down. So that's where the core of that radar was showing us, Kathy, that we had the the strongest return, the highest velocity, as well as that rotation indicated in those areas.
Yeah, it's just amazing when we watch how this has blossomed, and this is part of a line of severe weather. I want to go back to the tornado, but first I want to show this area along the eastern shore of Maryland, and this box is blinking because it is indicating that this cell could produce considerable damage, and the National Weather Service has added a severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County because of this cell on the eastern shore that's going to cross over, and also for Sussex County, Delaware. This is until 8 o'clock tonight, so that is an area of concern as well. We're going to return, though, to the tornado warning, and as you mentioned, Scott, as we take a closer look at this, it is moving east at 20 miles an hour. It's already created damage in the form of downed trees, so we know, obviously, that these are powerful winds associated with it, and I'm just going to touch this, we call it a skit, and see what kind of information it gives us as far as the storm is concerned. It will give us a trajectory of where the storm will be as it continues to move eastward, and this is a great indicator as well. This severe storm moving to the east-northeast, the cloud tops are at 18,000 feet. It's not the highest cloud top, so that's good, and the BTI, this is our tornado index, if it's higher than like a 3 or a 4, that would mean a powerful storm, but this BTI of 2.5 would indicate potentially.
Look at those towns and look at the areas that it's over. That's right over Six Flags. You can see it saying Adventure Seaport, Looney Tunes Seaport, Movie Town, Safari Kids, all of those locations, Kathy, right over Six Flags.
Exactly. And when we do a skit on this to see the severe weather, and I want to take this off really quick, because I want to actually draw the direction. I want to actually take this from the point that we saw the storm and move it east at 20 miles an hour and see what we get as far as locations. Here we go. Okay, so we talked about New Egypt, the storm moving over New Egypt as we speak, over Woodruff by 7:08, Midwood by 7:15, Cassville by about 7:20, Jackson by 7:24. And you can see all these dots as the storm progresses eastward. So once again, this tornado warning, it's in effect until 7:15, and it's moving rather slowly. We already know that it's taken down trees in Plumstead, and as we take a closer look, we can tell tell you the areas, the streets that it's over as we speak. And this is a very busy area. You know this. I mean, you can travel out toward Six Flags and head off even toward the beach. You're going to go this way as well. West Veterans Highway, even Hawkins Road, Success Road. In Jackson, some of the heavy rain is beginning to move into the area. Burke Road, Diamond Road, Freehold Road. And as it continues to move eastward, Bennett's Mills Road, and this will continue right toward the shore. So Howell is involved in this. Lakewood, a very popular community in Ocean County, is included as well. So it's White Road, Whitesville Road, Grawtown Road, even into West Cross Street, Toms River Road, a very popular road as well. This is the area of real estate that we're talking about, and it's pretty a large area for this tornado warning. You can see even Lakehurst to the south is involved in this, and I'm going to make this move a little bit. We'll put it on a 15-minute loop, and you can see not moving all that quickly, but that easterly trajectory continues, heading right toward Jackson as we speak. The heart of the storm not there just yet, then heading toward Howell and Lakewood, and by the time it moves to the shore, Scott, we were talking earlier, at least a severe thunderstorm warning for Point Pleasant, Manasquan, Wall Township as well, and La Valette, including Seaside Heights potentially, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning right here for the southern part of this area, and that's until 7:15. So you have your tornado warning, and then you have a severe thunderstorm warning for a good part of northern Ocean County. We do see that just to the south, the southern part of the county to the north, of course, in Monmouth County is included, and the system has moved out of Burlington County, really focusing in on northern Ocean County right now. And we've seen many storms move this way, especially the northern part of LBI gets hit pretty hard when we have a severe line of storms this way. But once again, that tornado warning until 7:15 for Ocean County, Burlington,
and this is,
and
I mean, interesting. This is kind of close to the Dix radar site. So can we look at the velocity and see, of course, what we're getting with that proximity to show some of that rotation, maybe inbound, outbound with what's happening? A little pixelated there,
yeah,
but
it's a little pixelated. And typically, if we had this gate to gate, we would see a little circle here. It is hard to see. I'm going to also put on the debris. Here's your radar, Scott, so you can see it's a little bit hard to see here, but we are seeing some debris indicators, and we'll have to see if this actually is ground truth with any type of damage. But that would be along Toms River Road, Success Road, and Lakehurst Naval Air Center. So if we end up seeing anything around this area, but we're so close to the radar that could be a little bit of clutter there. But as we take a look at the shear in this area, we do have some shear, and that would be some spin, not a ton of it. And if I go back in time to look at the last 30 minutes, you can see it over Plumstead, and then as the cell moves eastward. Also, we'll take a look at those hail indicators to see how much hail we have with this. And it looks like that is pretty impressive as the storm moves from.
Now they've kind of shrunk the actual box, so it's moved out of the New Egypt area in Plumstead, and it's kind of focused right now on just really the Jackson area over to Lakewood. So it's kind of pushed on off to the east, but we did have some tree damage from New Egypt as well as for the Plumstead area, but it looks like it's pushing a little on off to the east.
Which makes perfect sense, because if we follow this trail of hail, this is all the hail associated with the storm, and we follow that, you would say, okay, the storm is right about there, right about in this particular area. If we add on the radar, you'll be able to see the heaviest part of the storm would be right here. So as we take a zoom in, we're talking about West Veterans Highway. We talked about that, Reed Road and Freehold Road. So it is approaching Jackson and Six Flags as we speak, as we talked about, Scott. And then it's going to continue toward Bennett's Mills Road. So if anybody is in that area that you know, let them know that this storm is just minutes away at this point.
Yeah, I see Toms River Road there, certainly a highly traveled area. There could be folks, it's summer at Six Flags, so vivid lightning. We're talking about about the rainfall rates this afternoon have been over 2 inches per hour in some locations. I mean, as we get back to radar, we'll show you on maps that particular area. Now it's shifted a little farther off to the east of the New Egypt area, but this is 195 going right through sections of Ocean County there. And as you mentioned, a lot of people take that to the shore points this time of year. Maybe you're headed back. You're talking about just ominous conditions with the heavy rainfall, the lightning, and we'll focus in on that area right around the Jackson vicinity and take a look at this. Some of those areas, Wood Air Estates, St. Vladimir's. We're looking at that tornado warning until about 7:15. Archer's Corners, Collier's Mills. Looking at that heavy rainfall that's been pushing through, and we've seen rotation on ultimate Doppler. So there is a little spin, a little twist in the atmosphere. We had temperatures moving into the 90s this afternoon and feels like temperatures in the triple digits. We had all that tropical moisture left over from the remnants of Chantal just yesterday. That's interacting with a cold front that's pushing in from the west. So lots of lift in the atmosphere this afternoon into this evening to grow some of those cumulonimbus clouds. Tall cloud tops, they were around 20,000 feet. Not quite, I wouldn't say, you know, just off the charts, but certainly these thunderstorms have some height to them, so they will produce some of those downdrafts. Even if we don't get a confirmed tornado, we could have those straight line winds with this particular system as it's been pushing from west to east. So Wood Air Estates, the Jackson area, we talked about Six Flags being in the bullseye of this, and look at that line of showers and thunderstorms producing lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, a little lull kind of in between through sections of Gloucester County and Camden County, and then it turns severe again as you get into sections of Salem County as well as for Cumberland County with this. So once again, back to that rotation. We had a pretty decent rotation between Plumstead and New Egypt. Those areas are now no longer in that warned area for the tornado, but it's pushed a little farther on off to the east. So once again, as we kind of zoom in to this area, we're talking about Wood Air Estates, Jackson kind of being the bullseye, Leesville's in this, Vista Corner, right along 195, moving back into sections of even southern Monmouth County, the Whitesville area, South Lakewood, Locust Manor is included in this, Spruce Gardens, as you even get as far to the east as Highway 9. And you know, Highway 9 stretches from Monmouth County all the way through New Jersey almost for folks that want to take kind of the back road and not take the Garden State Parkway. You can get on Highway 9 and get to almost any shore point as well. That's included in this tornado warning for sections of Monmouth County and into Ocean County. Kathy?
Yeah, so I'm taking a close look at the warning area right now while we've been looking at that shear analysis. And this is the hail analysis showing that severe storm potential tornado. And you can see this large area of large hail. And as it moves to the east, and now this is trailing toward the southeast. But if we look at this area, Scott, in analysis and look at where this heavy hail is, an indicator of the severe cell, this potential tornado, this is the area of concern from Success Road, Toms River Road, extending to the south of the center of Jackson, and of course Freehold Road and extending toward Bennett's Mills Road. So this hail indicator obviously very, very strong. You also mentioned the shear trackers. I'm going to look at the shear for the past hour, and if we go back in time and look at how this blossomed, I'm going to zoom out so you can see the colors associated with it. It may look like radar, but it's actually some spin in the atmosphere. So you see it in Mansfield, Plumstead, you see those darker reds popping up. And then as we go into Jackson, you still see those greens. So there is still some spin in the atmosphere as the storm heads over toward Jackson and continues its track eastward at 20 miles an hour. So as we take a closer look, I'm going to put this in current live mode, and we're looking at obviously Jackson seeing the heaviest rain, looking at the potential tornado over this area as we speak. We talked about it moving east at 20 miles an hour, rain rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour. And if we put our severe tracker on this, you can see this is the direction of the storm, and 20 miles an hour. If we go 20 miles an hour, it's going to take us, I'm going to have to redo that redo that speed and direction for you, but we're going to take it. I think I'm too far zoomed in, but if I take it that far, you can see it will be in Jackson, the entire area of Jackson, obviously within minutes. It's the heavy rains heading there right now. Jackson Mills at 7:28 and in Harmony toward the shore by 7:34. So a lot of heavy rain with this, and part of a much larger system that is extending through the entire Delaware Valley, now interior South Jersey, extending down to a severe thunderstorm warning that we're seeing in the Vineland area. You can see that's for Salem County until 7:30, and this other severe cell that is very, very impressive heading toward Delaware, Kent County and Sussex County, that's till 8 o'clock. So several warnings going on at the same time. And as you mentioned, around Philadelphia right now, the rain doesn't look quite as heavy. If we look at all of our warnings, we have this tornado warning, the severe thunderstorm warnings going in toward and including the northern part of LBI. We have this particular cell. This is in Salem and northern Cumberland counties, and then we have the Delaware cell. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active severe thunderstorms, and now this tornado warning in effect. So still a lot of activity, as this system is not going to be out of our hair and not an issue until obviously all of this rain clears the coast. So that area of Jackson into Wall Township, into Manasquan, Point Pleasant, it will remain at least a severe thunderstorm with damaging winds, but this area of concern is in the Jackson area right now, and that box, that tornado warning box, goes right into Lakewood. So if you're familiar with this part of the shore, heading eastward, heading toward LBI, Lakewood, obviously a very big community, Jackson, Freehold, Wall Township, this is our area that we're looking at right now with extremely heavy rain and potential for damaging winds in excess of 70, 80 miles an hour in this potential tornado. So Freehold Road, even heading toward Bennett Mills Road, New Hope Chapel Road, in the Lakewood area, you are in the warning. Ocean Ave, Pine Street, Vine Street, some heavy rain in West Cross Street right now, and even through Whitesville Road. This is the area that you are also in our tornado warning. And Howell, just on the eastern edge. And beyond this, as we look at our tornado area, right beyond that tornado warning area, where you see the orange, that is the severe thunderstorm warning that will take over for Spring Lake, Wall, Manasquan, Long Branch, all the way down to Seaside Park. So once this slowly is forecast to weaken as we get closer to that 7:15 timestamp when the tornado warning is expected to expire, severe thunderstorm warning will be taking over.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking at a few of some of the storm reports coming in, not necessarily from that area, but just other areas. And it looks like reports of flooding on I-95 northbound at exit 4, US 322, the Commodore Barry Bridge, New Jersey. There's a ramp restriction there. Also, looks like, let's see here. Moving into Odessa, reports of Odessa. This is in Delaware, Newcastle County. Some damaging wind gusts, as well as Cinnaminson. I'm just looking at some storm reports in Cinnaminson, Burlington County. Reports of some thunderstorm wind damage, some wires reported down. Now, they did take that tornado warning out of Burlington County. So once again, it's no longer in Burlington County. It was a sliver of Burlington County, but it's now still about 5 minutes or so, continuing for sections of Monmouth County and into sections of Ocean County. So on Ultimate Doppler map, so you can see that cell that we're watching as it continues pushing to the east at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now, it looks like it is weakening a bit, so hopefully they'll allow this to expire in about we have 4 minutes or so left to go as it continues pushing to the east, but certainly producing the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds over 60, 70 miles per hour, and we're talking about that lightning with this as well. So once again, you can see kind of the areas in question. It's right over the Jackson area right now, so you're probably hearing that thunder, seeing the lightning, those tropical downpours. Rain-wrapped tornado potentially with this system. So it's Ultimate Doppler radar indicated. There's been a little rotation with this, as we've seen with some of the shear markers that we've been showing you. But I mean, this entire line is just kind of volatile and violent as it stretches along the I-95 corridor. It's pushing on off to the east right now. And once we lose that daytime heating, things will really start to weaken. Also, some of the influence of the water with the shore as it moves to the shore points, it should weaken a bit. But once again, it's had a history of torrential downpours, flash flooding. Look at all of the lightning with this, and we have still severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Burlington, Ocean, Monmouth, as well as for sections of Salem and Cumberland County. So back to that rotation, that shear analysis, you can see it was pretty strong around New Egypt as well as the Plumstead area, weakening a bit as it pushes to the east in and around the Jackson area. But that's kind of our concern currently over the next couple of minutes or so. Let me see if I see anything with they're going to allow, it looks like, for it to expire. Let's see here. Yep, they're going to allow for that to expire just in from the National Weather Service. So Kathy, that's some good news.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to show you briefly the rain rate. So even though that tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Ocean County, in Jackson, if we look at the rain rate right now over Jackson, it's almost 3 inches an hour, and there's some storms to the south of Lakewood in that warning area, 6 inches an hour. So these storms are moving slowly east to 20 miles an hour, and with those rain rates, I'm sure we've already picked up at least a couple inches of rain from this. So we're going to keep a careful eye on this over the next several hours and keep you updated on any additional storms. But once again, as Scott mentioned, that tornado threat has been allowed to expire. This is still part of a line of severe weather that will continue to move eastward and offshore over the next 2 to 3 hours. We're going to bring you back to our programming for this evening, and if any other tornado warning should break, we will cut into programming. Have a good evening.